to In-Laws and Crime. I'm Ashley.
I am Megan. This is In-Laws and Crime. Happy last day of school.
Yes.
To all the kiddies.
Mm-hmm.
Today was the last day of school for my child's school. And it was an absolute madhouse.
Yep. I was trying to get through White House yesterday, and they were out. Their last day was yesterday.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
Thursday. And it was a madhouse. Like, kids everywhere.
Yeah. I pulled up to my daughter's little elementary school and for her little party, and it was just jam-packed with cars.
Yeah.
I had to park in the grass. So, but it's fun. It's over. Summer is here. We jammed out, what's his name? Alice Cooper. School's out for summer.
Oh my gosh.
When we got in the car, and they're excited that no more school for right now. So,
fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hello everybody. I think we have a few crime files.
We do.
And apparently a sad farm file.
I'm going to get some hate for this one, but yes, we have a farm file.
Oh no. Well, you do it first. You do farm file first.
So
I'm scared.
I let my chickens out a lot in the evenings to graze in the yard, and then they put themselves up in the evening or when it gets dark, and then I close them up at night. Well, so Sunday night I forgot to close them up.
Oh no.
And so they were open all night long so things could get in there, but nothing hurt them overnight. But the next morning I saw that they were out in the yard, and I was running late for work, and I'm like, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Grazing in the yard.
Oh no.
And I think what I can think happened is a stray dog came through and killed one of my chickens named Betty Page.
Betty Page.
Yes. She was black and white and had feathery feet.
Oh no.
And then one chicken, all I found was a pile of feathers, and I didn't find her at first. But then I went out and my coop is elevated about 8 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
And so I took a flashlight and I looked under the coop, and she was under there. But she was in the middle, so I couldn't reach her with my arms. And I was worried if I got something to drag her out, if she was hurt, that I would hurt her more.
Yeah.
So I just left her overnight. And then in the morning, she was still under there, but she was still alive. She was still breathing, and I couldn't see any blood on her or anything. And then by the time I came home Tuesday evening, she was out and at the fence wanting to get back into the coop.
Oh.
So I kind of checked her out a little bit and then got her back in the coop, and bless her heart, she clearly had been through it. She was shaking like she had Parkinson's, and anyway, but she's doing so much better. She's doing okay. She has survived. That was a week ago.
Oh my god.
She's doing okay. I know, but it was horrible. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad.
I know, chickens are so defenseless.
They're I love them, but they are the dumbest little creatures.
They are.
They're not
That's
smart.
how my quail are too. But when something attacks them or whatever, you're like, they're just so defenseless.
They really are.
Oh
yeah. But it was, I thought it was Barbara that had been attacked, but it wasn't.
Thank God Barbara's okay.
Old Barb is good. It was actually Chicken Little. It was my little orange chicken.
Oh, well, I do have a farm file, actually, now that I think about it. This was last week as well. My youngest was at home with me, and I'm working. I work from home sometimes. And they're working away. She's outside in the backyard playing around, and she comes running inside saying, "Baby bat, baby bat." And I went, "Don't touch it." I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because my youngest loves bugs, loves snakes. She wants to touch everything. And we've been trying to educate her on things that are not safe to touch. And so she said, "I didn't touch it." And so I run out there, and it is the tiniest. Maybe I'll post a picture of it. Me and Ashley are going to try and get better.
We're going to try to get more personal on.
Yeah. About getting a little bit more personal, showing little snippets of our lives and stuff on our socials, or on the In-Laws and Crime socials. But it was the teeniest, tiniest baby bat. We tried to, it was through it was hiding under a big dead magnolia leaf by the time I ran out there. And when I go outside, my cat, Rookie, the big giant panther cat, loves to follow me around. So he sees me outside and he's like, what you doing? And me and Dylan are going, Rookie, no! Because we can just tell he'll hone in on it. And sure enough, he was automatically so weird, went straight for that leaf. He was like, something is underneath there. Yeah. And so finally, anyways, it was a whole hoopla, but we finally rescued it. And I contacted I used leather gloves, picked it up and put it in a little thing. And we took it to a wildlife rehabilitator lady.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She was like, and it was the sweetest thing because she was like, thank you so much. She said, everybody, it's hard. A lot of people are terrified of bats and don't want to save them when they find them. And she said, but they're so important to our
our
wildlife.
Ecosystem.
Yeah. And so she was like, thank you so much. So it made us feel good that we rescued the baby bat.
I wonder if it's the same lady I took a flying squirrel 2 years ago.
Maybe.
Yeah, what was it?
I can't remember her name. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you after. Okay. I'll have to look her number up. But she was so sweet. Yeah. And I think she lives in like Mineola area.
Oh my gosh. Wherever this lady was, I drove like over an hour to get to her.
Oh no.
And she was in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we took a flying squirrel and she sent me updates as the baby squirrel did okay.
I'll have to reach out to my lady then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
But it was the sweetest thing.
Oh my gosh.
There's your farm files, ladies and gentlemen. One sad, one happy.
Yes.
For crime files, we do have another body found in the Houston Bayou. What is going on?
No, we haven't talked about the Houston Bayou in a while.
We haven't.
I think they're up to 4 bodies this year, but Megan and I were just looking at it. It was 35 bodies last year.
That they found. 35.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. Like, what's going on?
And
they're
happening?
Like, no serial killer. Okay. Even if it's not a serial killer, what is going on then?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us what's going on then.
Yeah.
So anyways, it says the most recent body found in the Houston area bayou was discovered on Saturday evening, May 16th, 2026 in Greens Bayou near the East Freeway in East Houston. A fisherman spotted the body floating in the water around 6:30 p.m. and contacted 911. And it says, though the individual's identity and exact cause of death remain under investigation. But I feel like we have not, which we haven't done a ton of digging into it, which maybe we will eventually. But I think a lot of these people either go unidentified or their cause of death is unknown.
So I did kind of a little spiral downward with ChatGPT about it.
And ChatGPT.
I know. And
our new friend.
Our new friend. And I could, nobody's cause of death was released that I could find.
Yeah.
And I didn't research myself again. I'm just asking ChatGPT. But
which maybe tells me they are investigating all of this together as a whole.
You would have to. How can you not?
And keeping some of this close to their chest.
Probably. Well, true.
Yeah. So maybe they're not releasing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But man, insane.
That's wild.
And then my second one is old girl. I'm sure everybody saw this. Old girl doing donuts in downtown Tyler, where they're doing construction at. She just decided, I guess, to take a joyride. But it says a Tyler woman was arrested Thursday afternoon after she was seen spinning donuts in her SUV in the middle of downtown Tyler Square construction area. Her name is Mary O'Neill, 47, of Tyler, has been charged Thursday night with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Her bond has not been yet set. According to Smith County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Larry Christian, a lieutenant working at the courthouse, received a call from a concerned citizen about a woman driving erratically through the square. The lieutenant and a deputy responded and spotted the woman, now identified as O'Neill, out of the vehicle. Christian said when they approached O'Neill, she tried to get back into the vehicle, but the deputies were able to get her out and cuff her.
So I knew this happened because a girlfriend of mine actually works for the courthouse.
Yeah.
And so they had a bird's eye view of the whole thing. So
I would be getting my popcorn out.
She sent us videos. And so if you're not familiar with downtown Tyler, on the square, there's this restaurant called Don Juan's, and they are known for this margarita called the Big Steve, which is just straight liquor.
Yeah.
It is like, when it comes out to you, it is not green like a margarita. The sucker is a brown. Yeah. Like, it has got so much liquor in it.
Nice and tan.
Like, you can only, I think you have like a 2 Steve minimum.
Yeah, I think they only give you 2.
You can't, like, anyway, it's wild. And so the jokes were that she had been at Don Juan's, but I actually know, in fact, that a friend of mine is friends with her. Oh. And she has been like, Miss O'Neill has been going through some things and apparently just had a mental breakdown. She did. So,
well, at least she was just spinning some donuts. She
didn't hit anybody.
Thank God, or injure anybody, or what the episode is today. Go into a full blown rage.
Oh yeah, I want to know this one. I know the gist of your story today, but I don't know any.
Yeah, it actually takes place at the Tyler Courthouse.
Oh, so, yeah. Okay. So before we segue into that, let me tell you mine. So on May 11th. Oh, this has been a while back.
May 11th.
Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, because we did a double, so this is like old now.
Yeah,
this is old news.
Me and Ashley haven't sat down and recorded in what, a week? 2 weeks.
I know,
a week. Which is odd.
You know what? I don't even know.
Usually we're every week.
I know. Anyway, a Henderson man shot and killed his 84-year-old dad.
Oh, I saw this.
You saw this?
This was in Payne Springs, wasn't it?
Yes, Ronnie Medford, 63, shot and killed his dad, Johnny Medford, 84. And he was on the run. They arrested him 2 days ago.
Insane. Payne Springs, if you're from East Texas, you probably don't know where the heck I'm talking about. Payne Springs is the tiniest little town over by the Cedar Creek Lake area. And that's where I am from. And if you're old G's, that's where Betty Beats is from.
Oh, that's right.
But, yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, Payne Springs, what the heck? Yeah. That's insane.
That was mine. That was my
wow. But that was a pretty big deal.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, he's in Kentucky right now.
He's in Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen, as we like to say. Okay,
Megan, I'm ready for this. Like, bring it in.
Yes. So today I'm going to be covering the Tyler Courthouse shooting, which we've had this one on our list for a while.
I didn't know we actually had it listed twice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
I deleted one.
Yeah, but it was at the top of we started making our case list like right when we started this podcast. It's now grown into like freaking 50 people we want to cover eventually. But this one was like number,
I think
10.
We're 4 or 5 pages long in cases to cover.
We have a lot. Buckle up, everybody. We have a long time on this.
A lot. You know what? I add stuff almost weekly. I add stuff to that
Ashley
list.
Keeps up with it, and it grows. Every time I check it, I'm like, dang. There's a lot of effed up people.
I mean,
here in East Texas.
Oh my gosh. I added one, Megan, that will break you.
Oh no.
I know. I'm going to cover it, but it's going to be awful.
Oh no. Anyway. Your last one broke me.
Yeah.
Can we all agree?
Yeah.
That one was a hard
one.
Poor
Delaney. Yeah. I hope she's mentally doing okay.
Yeah. So Tyler Courthouse shooting. My references today are Smith County Records, KLTV.com, a YouTube video titled Tyler Courthouse Shooting of 2005, which pretty weird. My last case, the coach in Canton, was 2005 as well. So back to the same year we go. On the morning of February 24th, 2005, the city of Tyler, Texas, woke up expecting an ordinary Thursday. Downtown workers unlocked storefronts. Lawyers carried files into Smith County Courthouse. Deputies drank coffee and prepared for another routine day, handling divorces, custody disputes, and child support hearings. No one standing outside the courthouse that morning could have imagined that they were about to witness one of the deadliest courthouse shootings in modern Texas history. Within minutes, gunfire would echo through the downtown Tyler area. A woman would be murdered in broad daylight. Police officers would be shot and wounded. A local citizen would leave his apartment with a handgun in an attempt to stop a killer. And a furious father named David Hernandez Herrero would launch the city into chaos before dying in a violent confrontation after a high-speed chase. This is the story of the Tyler Courthouse shooting. And in the center of it is, like I said, David Hernandez Herrero. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. Actually, I don't care. So long before the gunfire erupted outside of the courthouse, David's life had already begun to unravel. Herrero had once been a husband and a father trying to maintain a family life in East Texas, but over time his marriage to Maribel Estrada deteriorated under a mounting tension, anger, and conflict. People who later examined the case would describe their relationship filled with arguments and hostility. The marriage eventually collapsed. And by 2004, David and Maribel were divorced. But the divorce did not end the conflict. And in many ways, it intensified it. And so you're going to have those guys. While I was going over this case, he just reminded me of some of those, I'll say, bunny quotes, typical East Texas guys that just, I don't know, it pisses me off so bad. Throw hissy fits when they don't get their exact way.
Yeah.
The couple became locked in a bitter dispute over finances and child support. Court hearings became routine for them, and the courthouse became a battlefield where both sides continued fighting long after the marriage itself was over. Friends and investigators would later describe Herrero as a man consumed by anger after the divorce. He reportedly blamed Maribel for the collapse of his whole life.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
And that was said throughout all of this, is like, he was known for telling everybody that he basically blamed her for everything going wrong in his life, which she's just trying to raise their kids.
Right.
And not be with him because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And so for him to say she's ruining her, no, sir, you with your hissy fits is what's ruining your life. You're not being a freaking man. You're being a boy.
Yeah.
He reportedly, I just said that. The resentment grew deeper with every court appearance. And over time, the legal system itself appeared to become one of the targets of his rage. In the months leading up to the shooting, David's behavior reportedly became more and more troubling. So a lot of friends and family and everything were seeing him acting more erratic, more angry, having more outbursts.
He was spiraling.
He was spiraling because he wasn't getting his way, and she was trying to get child support to support their freaking kids.
Classic narcissist.
Yeah. I want to say they have 3 kids or 4 kids.
I was going to ask you how many children they had.
Yeah. So I know for a fact they have a 23-year-old at this point, which is their oldest, but then they have a 10-year-old. I think the ones in between those two were in the middle of that.
Okay.
23 to 10. If that
gap.
helps y'all out at all.
It does not.
I could not find any more information on the siblings other than the 23-year-old and the 10-year-old. Sorry. And neither could ChatGPT. So there you go. So he had previous encounters with law enforcement and a reputation for aggression. Prior to the shooting, his record included an assault and bodily harm charge filed by his ex-wife and oldest son, the 23-year-old, as well as historical weapon offenses and violations. So he is not a stranger to law enforcement and
all the things.
All of those things that go along with being an idiot. He's very connected to. People close to the situation later described him as increasingly unstable. He was angry about the child support obligations, angry about the divorce, angry about the court processes, and angry at Maribel. But what many did not realize was that Herrero was moving beyond anger. He was taking that, everybody gets rage and anger, but it's like this. Certain people, they just take that extra step to like extreme. And that's what's always kind of fascinated me about people, like what that snap that happens, that you just decide to do some wild crap like this. He was preparing for violence. Investigators later discovered that he had armed himself heavily before the attack. He acquired a military style rifle. He obtained body armor. He gathered ammunition. This was not a spontaneous explosion of rage. Evidence suggested he planned everything. Preparation and calculation were the 2 words that were used most frequently to describe this attack. The hearing scheduled for February 24th, 2005 would revolve around the child support issues in regards to their other son, the 10-year-old that I told you about that they shared. To most people, it was simply another routine courthouse appearance. But to David, it appears the hearing became the final breaking point. That Thursday morning began quietly in Tyler. The Smith County Courthouse sat in the center of downtown like it always had. People walked the sidewalks, cars moved through traffic, deputies handled courthouse security. No one knew a heavily armed man was already nearby. David arrived carrying a Noriko, I think is how you pronounce it, Noriko MAK 90 rifle, an AK style weapon capable of devastating firepower. So when I read the Noriko, I was not familiar with that, and I'm semi-familiar with guns. It's actually a Chinese manufactured AK style semi-automatic rifle. And so I was like, is this like illegal, or is this, where did he get this from?
Yeah.
I mean, we get them, but it's a Chinese imported AK rifle.
Okay.
He also wore body armor. That detail would become critically important in the minutes ahead. So when I was like diving into this case, and I think I started initially with the YouTube video before I reviewed our records that we got, I was shocked to find out he wore body armor, just because I feel like that is just an extra step. He didn't just grab a gun and go to Tyler Courthouse and start shooting. Mm-hmm. He literally was wearing body armor.
Now he was prepared to be shot at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which implicates your guilt and that you're wrong if you have to protect yourself.
Absolutely. That detail that he wore the body armor becomes critically important in the minutes ahead. Arrero positioned himself near the courthouse and waited. He was waiting for Maribel and for their son, because he was aware that their 23-year-old would be with her, which is even wilder. So it was
the 23-year-old son.
The 23-year-old son was with Maribel, accompanying her to the courthouse hearing.
Wow. Okay, so I just assumed it was the 10-year-old child that was with her. So it's her oldest son is with her.
The 10-year-old child was not with her.
Oh my God. Okay.
The hearing is about the 10-year-old, but the 10-year-old's not with
Makes
them.
sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At some point that morning, Maribel arrived with David Arrero Jr., which is the 23-year-old son, her oldest son, who at the time, who at the time was 23, that I said.
Oh, was he 23 at the time?
50 times already. 23.
Was he 23, Megan?
He is 23.
Hey, real quick.
2-3.
The oldest son, how old is he?
23 years old. They approached the courthouse steps, likely expecting another stressful but ordinary hearing. Instead, they walked directly into an ambush, which is, golly, terrifying. Without warning, David steps out and opens fire on both of them. The first shots shattered the normal rhythm of downtown Tyler, which I can't imagine.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah. Witnesses later said some people initially mistook the sounds for fireworks, which you always hear that. They initially think it's fireworks because your brain doesn't want to go there.
Okay. Side note, Jacob and I were in New Orleans one time, and we were doing a tour of the cemeteries, because they have the cemeteries that are above, or the graves that are above ground.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And so we were doing a tour, and all of a sudden we hear this pow pow pow, and like I immediately panic. And I'm like, I freeze up, and the tour guide's still like talking like nothing's going on, and I'm like checking into the crowd like nobody's panicking, and this sweet girl next to me, she touches my arm and she goes, I had the same thought, but she's like, it's New Year's Eve. And I was like, oh. I was like, you're so right. I was like, it's people popping off fireworks. And then I could relax. But yeah, I immediately went there. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's going down.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Especially if you're in a crowded place like that.
Yeah.
Like you're not, like in at the courthouse in broad daylight.
Oh my gosh, right.
That's not a normal sound.
No.
But within seconds, the reality became horrifyingly clear for everybody. Maribel was struck in the head and instantly fell to the ground and died.
Yeah.
Right on the footsteps of the courthouse entrance.
Oh my God.
Is that not insane? Their son, David Arrero Jr., was also hit. He was wounded in the leg and fell to the ground. Panic exploded across downtown. People screamed, glass shattered. And in the YouTube documentary I watched later, after all of this is done, I mean, if you've been to downtown Tyler, where the courthouse is, obviously there's businesses all around. Like their glasses were shattered. They were finding bullet holes and everybody's, walls and stuff like that. Just freaking crazy. Some hid behind cars. Others drove to nearby businesses. The gunfire echoed through the streets, and in the middle of it all stood David, armed with a rifle, protected by body armor, and firing openly outside the county courthouse. Law enforcement officials nearby immediately rushed towards the sound of the gunfire. Deputies and Tyler police officers attempted to engage Arrero, but they quickly faced a deadly problem. Most officers carried handguns. Arrero had, now let's all remember, this is 2005. Mm-hmm. And so they're just carrying handguns. And his body armor absorbed the incoming rounds very easily from a handgun. The firefight intensified, and Deputy Sherman Dollison was seriously wounded. Deputy Marlon Sewell was hit. Tyler Police Detective Clay Parrott was also wounded.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because they all just run out of the courthouse when they hear the gunfire, and he just starts
hitting everybody.
Mowing
people down.
It's insane.
Wow.
Witnesses described nonstop gunfire ripping through downtown Tyler. The courthouse area became a war zone. At one point, Arrero reportedly attempted to continue to target his wounded son.
Oh my God.
So David Jr. is hit in the leg. He falls to the ground and he's trying to crawl backwards from what I read. David Sr. is now openly firing at everybody all the police officers coming at him. And at one point he turns and sees his son is still alive and starts walking towards his son.
No.
With his gun. Officers fought desperately to stop him because they could tell what he was about to do. But another person was also watching the violence unfold. And unlike, oh my gosh, I can't talk. And unlike everyone else running away from the gunfire, he decided to run towards it. Gives me chills.
That is a brave soul. That is a brave soul. When you can run into the danger, when you are running toward it.
Yeah.
That is insane because don't pick me.
Yeah. I gone.
Yeah, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm hiding behind the cars or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I am not the brave one.
No.
Yeah.
No. Even with a gun in my hand. I don't think I could do that.
Me.
I'm going to wait right here. Y'all tell me when it's good.
Yeah.
A few blocks away, 52-year-old Mark Allen Wilson heard the shooting from inside his downtown apartment. Wilson was not a police officer. He was a businessman and a firearms instructor. And he had a license to carry a concealed handgun.
Okay.
When he looked outside and he saw the chaos below, he made a decision that would define the rest of his life. He grabbed his Colt 45 handgun and headed towards the courthouse. Witnesses later recalled seeing Wilson move towards the gunfire while others fled the other direction. At that moment, officers were pinned down trying to stop Arrero, but Wilson approaches him from behind. I know, I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
So David Sr. is pointing his gun, and the police officers are trying to distract him because they could tell he was trying to get to his son. So they're firing on him. So David Sr. is putting his attention towards the police officers. And Wilson has seen all this play out, and now he is going behind and trying to sneak up on him. So Arrero was focused on law enforcement and apparently did not see him. Wilson opened fire. Several rounds struck Arrero's body armor.
The body armor.
Witnesses later described seeing white puffs burst from Arrero's clothing because of the body armor. For a moment, Wilson appeared to have caught the gunman by surprise, and his actions may have distracted Arrero from continuing to target his wounded son. Oh my God. But Wilson did not realize something critical. Arrero was wearing the ballistics protection. The handgun rounds were not stopping him. Then Arrero turned. The two men exchanged gunfire near Arrero's truck, and Wilson took cover But Herrero's rifle gave him overwhelming firepower, because you have to remember David has an AK, and that's a lot of firepower compared to a handgun. Seconds later, Wilson was shot. He fell behind the truck. Herrero approached and fired additional rounds, killing Mark Wilson. Like execution style. That was heartbreaking to me.
I'm broken.
Yeah. He literally is up in his apartment, hears this gunfire, and automatically thinks, I have to go help.
Yes.
And
didn't
runs
hesitate
down there
for a second.
Runs down there and sees Herrero trying to target I'm sure he didn't know at the time that it was his son, but he saw him trying to target somebody. And he was trying to save him. So heartbreaking.
Oh my God.
A freaking hero. Is what he is. Minnie and Tyler, and later across Texas, would come to see him as a hero, a man who chose to confront a killer when everyone else was trying to just to survive.
Me.
Yeah.
Me, the survivor.
Yeah.
Trying.
After the deadly exchange, David climbs into his truck and flees downtown Tyler.
Is he hit at all?
No. The body armor. The nightmare was no longer confined to the courthouse. Now it's moving across East Texas. Police units immediately begin to pursue him. Tyler, and I just have to note, so I'm watching the YouTube coverage of this. It's like an old school KLTV, coverage of it. And there's a dash cam footage. And he gets in his truck and flees, and they're like shooting at his tires and everything, they don't want him to get out of there. And an officer has his gun, and he jumps on the hood of another officer's patrol vehicle, and he just tells him go, and he's going and shooting at the truck, riding on the front hood of the police car.
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow, that's impressive. That would have not been my first thought.
That's a Mission Impossible move.
Exactly. It was crazy. And so Tyler police officers and Smith County deputies joined the chase. Officers knew that Herrero was heavily armed, and they knew he had already killed multiple people, and they feared he could attack more civilians at any moment. The pursuit accelerated rapidly, sirens screaming through traffic. Patrol units raced behind Herrero as the chase moved away from downtown. Gunfire reportedly continued during portions of the pursuit. So they're going through downtown and out. I want to say somehow they end up on the loop. What's the little loop in Tyler?
323?
Yeah. And shots are being fired. He's firing at them. They're firing at him. Just insane. The danger remained extremely high. Officers had to stop him before anyone else died. The pursuit eventually reached an area outside downtown Tyler where officers attempted to force Herrero's vehicle to stop. Deputy John Smith maneuvered aggressively behind Herrero's truck. At one point, officers rammed his vehicle, and Herrero finally came to a stop. But the violence was still not over. He emerges from the truck armed and dangerous, and officers surround him. So the officer John Smith tries to do kind of like one of those pit maneuvers. And he stops. David stops. He gets out of the truck, and the officer is still kind of semi behind David's vehicle. David gets out with his gun and aims it at the officer, and the officer's only choice was to go forward, like to swerve around the truck to get out of there because he didn't want to get shot by the gun. And so, you can watch all this on dash cam video. And David's still outside of his truck, and then he's going to get back in his truck, and another officer named Sergeant Rusty Jacks comes on the other side and gets out of his vehicle, and Officer Jacks has a AR-15 rifle with him, because all these officers are using handguns,
right?
And so finally he gets out with the AR-15, and as Herrero continued threatening officers, the final exchange of gunfire erupts. Jacks fires, and Herrero was struck right in the head.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. The shooting finally ended. And you can see it on dash cam video. It is a incredible shot. I mean, it was pretty intense.
Good job, Jax.
Yeah, because David was about to get back in his vehicle. Yeah, and if that would have happened, he would have hammered on it and been out of there. And Jax comes around and gets out in just one shot.
Wow.
Insane. Sorry if that was a little TMI.
No,
but it's pretty incredible.
And we needed to know this guy was going down.
Yeah. Oh, heavens to Betsy.
He's moving, big boy.
Oh, we thought he was going to make his guest appearance again. David Hernandez Arrero died at the scene. The man who terrorized downtown Tyler for nearly an hour.
Wow.
That gunfight lasted an hour.
That is insane. That's not okay. Oh, okay. So from the shooting to them chasing was an hour.
I'm guessing so. Yeah.
Okay. So not just downtown.
No, but I mean, he literally gets in his car and gets out of the downtown, and I mean, they catch him pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So his son survived.
Yes. Okay. But the damage left behind would remain for years. When the smoke finally cleared, 3 people were dead: Maribel, Mark, and David himself. Several others were wounded. David Arrero Jr. survived after being shot. Deputies and officers were hospitalized. Families across Tyler were left shaken. For many residents, the violence felt surreal. This kind of attack was something people associated with major cities or television news coverage, not in Tyler, Texas, not the courthouse in downtown, and certainly not in the middle of the damn day.
Right.
Like broad freaking daylight.
Right.
Bright and early in the morning.
Yes.
Oh, here he comes. Oh, there he goes.
All right. Have a seat. Sit.
He's like, hello, everybody.
Sorry, guys. Sit, Patchy. Yeah. If you don't sit down.
He's having a moment. He's having an elderly moment. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Continue, Megan.
Yeah. He's like, I'm listening now. So the shooting immediately became national news. Television stations replayed footage of the courthouse attack and police pursuit repeatedly. Dash cam footage, like I've been mentioning, circulated widely. News helicopters showed the aftermath of the shooting. Across the county, viewers watched scenes that looked more like a battlefield than a courthouse dispute. In Tyler, residents struggled to process what had happened. People who witnessed the shooting described hearing rifle fire echo through the streets. Some hid inside buildings for long periods before police declared the area was safe. Others watched officers carrying wounded people away. For law enforcement, the incident became one of the most traumatic events in the city's history. Officers who responded the day later spoke about the chaos, confusion, and danger they faced while confronting a rifle-armed suspect wearing body armor. In the aftermath, one name stood out repeatedly: Mark Wilson. Many viewed him as a civilian hero, a man who armed himself and voluntarily entered into a deadly situation in an effort to stop a killer. His actions sparked national discussions about armed citizens confronting active shooters. Supporters argued Wilson likely saved lives by distracting Arrero, which absolutely
yes, he
did.
absolutely saved lives.
Others pointed out the limitations of handguns against rifles and body armor. But nearly everyone agreed on one thing: Mark Wilson knowingly ran towards the danger to help strangers, and he paid for it with his life. The Tyler courthouse shooting exposed major concerns, though, about courthouse security and police preparedness. Law enforcement agencies across Texas began re-reviewing active shooter response policies. Questions emerged about officers' equipment. Many patrol officers at the time did not have immediate access to rifles. They only had handguns.
Wow, okay.
Some departments increased patrol rifle programs after the shooting. Body armor policies also became under review. Courthouse security procedures were reevaluated. Officials discussed ways to improve perimeter protection outside secured entrances. The incident became part of a broader national conversation about domestic violence spillover and public attacks connected to family court disputes. For Tyler Police and Smith County law enforcement, the lessons learned from February 24th, 2005 would permanently shape future training and tactical planning. In the end, the Tyler courthouse shooting was not simply a story about one violent morning. It was a story about rage left unchecked. Mm-hmm. A family conflict that escalated into public bloodshed, a courthouse transformed into a battlefield. Police officers forced into running a gun battle through the downtown streets, which is terrifying. And then an ordinary citizen who chose to confront evil with nothing but a handgun and courage. More than 2 decades later, people in Tyler still remember where they were when the shooting started. They remember the sirens and the gunfire. The events of February 24th changed Tyler forever, and the name David Arrero became permanently tied to one of the darkest days in East Texas history. And that is the story of the courthouse shooting, which is insane. And I meant to ask Steve about it.
Yeah, you're right, because he was still very active at that point because he didn't retire till 2017.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry, guys. I meant to, maybe I'll do a follow-up for y'all, but I know for a fact he would have a lot to say about it and was probably involved in some way. So I was dropping my children off with him and they were Mimi. And I was in quite a hurry today to get here. So I just dropped him off and left. But I wanted to ask him and I totally forgot. So yeah.
Well, that's a wild one. And
wild.
I can't imagine because, probably David Jr. probably just inherited 3 children. I mean, I don't know if his other 2, the middle siblings, were of age to take care of themselves at that point. But
I'll say this about David Jr.
Uh-oh.
He seems to have followed in his father's footsteps.
No.
That's all I'll say.
Okay. So he hasn't.
Which broke my heart just a tad because Mark died.
Saving your life.
Trying to save you, it seems. And David Jr. is also not a stranger to law enforcement.
Oh, no.
And domestic violence.
No.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great.
So, which I'm sure seeing your mother shot in the head doesn't help your situation.
It doesn't,
mentally.
but I would think that would make you even more of a protector.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
I would think.
But people's brains are weird.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
All right. Well, thanks, Megan.
You're welcome, everybody.
Okay. Well, like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. Rate and review. If you have a tale, email us at inlawsandcrime@gmail.com.
And
keep your roots deep.
And your head on a swivel.
Bye.